Hi everyone, I'm Brent Graham and you're watching Good for the Game TV, and this is our preview of Currie Cup Week 2, or at least our handicap projection show. I'm going to share my handicap projections ahead of the three fixtures, and we'll also wrap up the first week of Currie Cup, where we did have a very big upset in Griquas beating the Sharks away. Before you do anything else, though, if you're new to our channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you will be notified of all of our videos. We do have a number of live shows coming up this week. Monday night, 7:30, we've got a Tour de France panel discussion. That's live 7:30, and we've got at 9 o'clock, Use It or Lose It. We're going to be talking about whether the Griquas can go all the way to the Currie Cup final. Thursday night, of course, the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. We'll be talking Currie Cup and Rugby Championships betting. Let's get straight into the action, though, and go into this week's results, where we saw the first game on Friday night, and it was Griquas away to the South Sea Sharks. Now, the Sharks were quite big favourites. The betting opened minus 14.5. Interestingly enough, there was quite a lot of money for the Sharks, and their line actually started at about minus 17.5. Sorry, Hendrik Swart, you would have seen on the handicap, was very, very bullish about the Griquas for this game. In fact, he tipped them at 25-1 on the Good for the Game forum to win the tournament. So he was firmly on the plus. I must say, I was on the plus as well. In fact, there were quite a lot of our punters that were, but yet the money continued to come for the Sharks. Anyway, it turned out the Sharks were just not up to it. The Griquas was absolutely running away with a 24-point victory against the defending champions on their home ground. Was quite superb. And I think the Griquas are going to have to be taken seriously now. I haven't seen any updated betting yet, but I imagine they're going to be in around 6-1 to win the Currie Cup now. Well done to those who backed the Griquas on the handicap. The Golden Lions against the Pumas. Well, this game, Hendrik was also very bullish on the Pumas. In fact, he was very aggressive on them winning the game at a price of 9-2. And you got a feel for him here because they were absolutely in control of the match. They led at one stage, I think, by 18 points before somehow allowing the Lions to come back and snatch a 1-point victory. No problem at all for Pumas handicap backers, but those who did back them on the outright would have been very disappointed they didn't deliver and get the victory they were threatening to do. The final game was a Western Province against the Blue Bulls. This game started between minus 5.5 and minus 7.5 on Western Province, and Province supporters were celebrating. They won by 15 points, a dour low-scoring encounter where the Bulls actually scored first, but Province came back and through their usual rugged defense, managed to get on top. Their scrum was also far superior to the Bulls. So Province getting off to a winning start. I know Couch Critic on the handicap, he really does fancy Western Province this season. Let's go and have a look at this week's fixtures. We got Griquas at home to the Pumas. That's Friday at 5. Vodacom Blue Bulls at home to the Free State, who of course make their tournament debut. And then on Saturday, just the one game, the South Sea Sharks against Western Province. Note the early kickoff there due to the Rugby Championship, and that's at 2 o'clock. Let's pop over to the Good for the Game forum, and I'll share my handicaps with you now for week 2. Griquas against the Pumas. Well, I can't see Griquas not starting fairly firm favourites here. I'm going minus 8.5. They did beat the Pumas in the Super Sport Challenge quite recently. The Pumas showed enough against the Lions that I think the bookmakers will give them some respect. I think the handicap will be about 8.5. The Bulls up against Free State. I'm not too sure what team Free State are putting out, but I imagine the Bulls will start around about 7.5 point favourites there. And finally, the Sharks against Western Province. This is a tough one because the Sharks were very poor against the Griquas, and Western Province, despite beating the Bulls, were not that impressive in all honesty. I think they were impressive enough to start favourites, and I'm going Sharks plus 1.5 here against Western Province. That's it then as far as the Currie Cup goes. I just want to, before I stop sharing my screen, I just want to reduce the size of this quickly and take you to another thread on our forum. If you go to the Good for the Game forum and you click on that particular heading at the top, we've got the Rugby World Cup 2009, all pre-tournament bets. And now what we've got is punters already getting bets down ahead of the World Cup, which is still in over 2 months' time. Information coming in. And I'll give you a nice example at the bottom here. Southpaw, one of our shrewd punters who's been with us for many years, he's backing Fiji plus 17.5 in the opening game against Australia. You'll see here also he took a double, Argentina plus 3.5 against France onto Fiji plus 17.5. So guys are already getting involved in the early game. So I'd encourage you to go on there, register on the forum, and make sure you track those threads. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching this Currie Cup preview. We'll have, obviously, Rugby Championship and Currie Cup previews on the Good for the Game website. I have put a link to our Friday newsletter down below. We hit that last week, the Pumas plus being our best bet. Can't guarantee success, but hopefully can add some value to your weekend. I'll also put I'll also put the the link to the Rugby Forum thread once it's up and running. Thanks a lot and have a good week.